Now we're going to move on to how you can get the maximal benefits from medical marijuana. The number one key measure is using the appropriate dosage. And to understand how to use the appropriate dosage, you need to understand a little bit about the endocannabinoid signaling system and the cannabinoid receptor. As I mentioned before, your body is full of cannabinoid receptors. Your brain, your bones, your tissues, all your organs have cannabinoid receptors in them. And the body can choose to make more of these receptors or make less of them based on its needs and based on stimuli from the external environment. This is where it's important to know that marijuana in small and moderate doses actually sends a signal to your body to increase the number of receptors that you have. If you make more cannabinoid receptors, then you become more sensitive to marijuana, and that means you need less marijuana to get the desired effect, and that the overall optimal effect increases. Conversely, if you have less marijuana receptors, your system is less sensitive to marijuana, and that makes you require a higher dose in order to get the benefit that you're looking for, plus the optimal benefit begins to disappear. High doses of cannabis actually decrease your cannabinoid receptors and decrease your sensitivity to the herb, and this is known as tolerance, something that many people are familiar with. While building tolerance to marijuana is a common experience in people that use high doses, most patients aren't aware of the ability for marijuana to actually increase your receptors and make your system more sensitive to cannabis. This can be seen, for example, in people who use marijuana the first time and don't get any effects from it or don't notice any effects from it. Then the second time they use it, they often do get very strong effects. This is because their first dose signaled the body to increase the number of receptors, and then when they took their second dose, those receptors were in place, the system was more sensitive to it, and this stimulated a much stronger effect. Well, you can use these principles yourself, even if you're a long-time smoker, to resensitize your system to marijuana. This isn't appropriate for every patient, and it is true that certain conditions require a high dose of marijuana in a consistent basis. But for most of my patients, minimizing your dose by sensitizing your system to marijuana using this simple technique will help you get the most out of the herb with the maximum benefit and the least side effect. What I recommend is using the smallest amount possible, and here's how to do so if you're already using cannabis. Start by taking a 48-hour break. This is enough to help your receptors reset and move away from the state of tolerance that you may be in. After those 48 hours, when you resume your use of cannabis, use a much smaller dose than you're used to using, approximately half the dose, or if you're smoking it, for example, 1 to 2 puffs of a high-quality herb. Now that may not be enough for you at the moment to give you the desired effects that you're looking for. That's okay. Put it down and leave it at that. And then the next time you go to have some marijuana, again, use this smaller dose than you're used to using. Again, it may not have the desired effects, but you may notice it working a little bit better. If you continue this over the next few days, then you'll notice that all of a sudden, now these 2 puffs of high-quality herb that used to not do anything for you are having quite a strong effect on you. And this is because you've had the patience and the wisdom to allow your body's cannabinoid receptors to upregulate, meaning you've helped your body become more sensitive to this beneficial medicine. There's some simple ways to know if you're using too much marijuana. The first is if you're building tolerance to it. If you notice that over time your required dosage is increasing, then it's really important for you to stop, take a break, and resensitize your system as I've described. Many people deny the existence of marijuana withdrawal, but this is real and it's been documented. And if you're having any withdrawal effects, then that means you're probably building tolerance and you would benefit from resensitizing your system. The most common withdrawal symptoms are nausea, decreased appetite, trouble sleeping, anxiety, depression, anger, restlessness, and a craving for marijuana. The most interesting thing to me about upregulating your cannabinoid receptors using this technique is that not only are you going to be more sensitive to marijuana, you're going to be more sensitive to your body's endocannabinoids, which means that your healing system will begin working more efficiently and more quickly in helping you respond to stressors and environmental changes, and also in helping you maintain homeostasis internally. You also can experience more states of natural high even without cannabis when your cannabinoid receptors are upregulated. This means that after exercise, body work, meditation, or anything that you really enjoy, those feelings of natural high become more accessible to you.